Hi everybody, this is Andrew McGowin and this is my presentation on elections in the UK. First of all, when are elections? For a long time, each parliament had a maximum length of 5 years before re-election. The way they did that was any time between that 5 years, the prime minister could call to dissolve parliament for re-elections. That's what they've done as far as it goes back to how the parliament was, and up until now, they passed in 2011 the Fixed Term Parliament Act, which is now forcing every election to take place in May every 5 years. So that's pretty much where there's no just random elections anymore, where it used to be the parliament and the prime minister could call to dissolve parliament at any time. So this is just creating the opportunity to have an election every May, every 5 years. The campaigning process is very quick, usually only lasting around 4 to 6 weeks. This is mostly due to citizens not being the most excited people when it comes to campaign propaganda. They don't like the casual bombardment of their TVs and people running for election. So this is why they don't exactly enjoy the campaign process, and that's why it's usually a very quick process. To be able to vote in the UK, you must be 18 years of age. You must be a citizen of Great Britain, the United Kingdom, or any English Commonwealth. You cannot have any legal incapacity to vote. You can't be a convicted felon or something like that. Similar to what we have. And you must vote on election day in the polls or by proxy, almost similar to our absentee voting. Random cool fact though that I kind of liked was UK is so small that there's only one time zone, which I assume most people realize too. But that something you don't realize or may not realize during that is that means the polls open and close at the same time for everyone. So that it gets rid of the people in, say for us, like California, knowing what the people in New York have voted already, and people may have not have even voted yet in the United States, but they already know who's won. So it gets rid of that, and I kind of like that a lot. Um, Next is who do I vote for? The way that the Parliament and the members of Parliament or MPs are broken up is there's 650 boundaries that the United Kingdom is separated into, and each boundary has members of parliament running to be the representative for that. So being a member of parliament for each boundary is it's very similar to being a representative in our Congress or House of Representatives, for example. Every MP claims to be a part of a party, kind of like our Republican and Democratic parties. And even though there's a ton of different parties, the UK is like us, and we really only have two main parties. The main parties in the United Kingdom, though, are the Conservative and the Labour Party. Every MP is elected using the first past the post method, which just means that they have to have the most votes against their contender. It doesn't mean they have to have majority, it just means they need one more vote than whoever they're running against. After the elections, whoever the leader of the party with the most seats in parliament becomes the prime minister and is appointed by the queen. So say the Labour Party wins the most seats in parliament. That means that whoever their leader is, that they become the prime minister. It's a lot like our Speaker of the House in the House of Representatives. If the prime minister's party also has majority, which means not only do they have the most seats, they have 75% of the seats, then he basically then has the ability to run the country without reproach. That means that he can do basically whatever and that he's not going to get voted out. The prime minister, like I said, is comparative to the Speaker of the House, but with a lot more power. The Speaker of the House for us is mainly just an icon figure for one, and also they run Congress in America. The prime minister there is a lot like a king in some aspects. He has the ability to declare war. He can make many decisions without consulting parliament. And that leads to the first discussion. Do you believe that the prime minister has too much power? Do you think that they could limit the power in any way, or do you think that the prime minister has a good amount of power and that without that power they wouldn't be able to do what they are able to do in the United Kingdom? If you do believe that they have too much power, what would be a good compromise to limit their power? as you can see, their elections are a fairly simple process. Once every 5 years, there's an election where every MP is up for re-election. An MP wins the seat for their district by beating the opponent, and the leader of the party with the most seats becomes the prime minister, who then becomes a pivotal part of parliament and the UK, especially if their party has the majority. We see this leads to further discussion. Do you like that until now the election could be at any time during 5 years, or do you like that it's going to be a set date now? Also, do you agree or disagree with the short campaign time in order to discourage bombardment by propaganda, like commercials? Like, do you agree or uh, more or less weigh it against the way we do it, where an election process more or less takes around 2 years? There's a year of people forming exploratory committees and figuring things out if they're going to run in the election, and then once they've decided whether or not, then there becomes the primaries and all throughout. And the entire time we see commercials and we see Fox News and MSNBC telling all this stuff about each candidate, and it's a nonstop campaign process for 2 years just to elect president. And also with congressmen, you see it in your home district. The whoever the incumbent is, usually there's tons of commercials, and if they're trying to get rid of the incumbent, then you usually see a lot of more or less dirty commercials, just saying what they haven't done, what they promised to do, and weren't able to do. And this is because there's so much time for our elections, and there's so much campaign process. So it's more or less, do you like the way that the United Kingdom does it, or do you prefer the way we do it? And then most of all, do you prefer their style of elections and the entire electoral system there when you compare it to either ours or Ireland's? Once again, here's my sources. I use these mostly for reference. The only one that I would say is a uh, absolutely great just fact website is obviously the parliament.uk site at the very top. They're the ones with the frequently asked questions. They're the ones that have the absolute facts. The other two are kind of like opinion and giving layman's terms meaning to a lot of the things that involve their electoral system. I liked using those just so I could gain a further understanding. And also, of course, the books really give a good understanding. Um, Once again, though, my name is Andrew McGowin. Thank you for listening to this, and y'all have a good day.